I'm Greg, and welcome to my gregarious world. If you want to join us on our 51-day adventure in the South Pacific, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell. Bula! Today's port of call is Savusavu on the island of Vanuatu, Fiji. As we neared the island, we noticed the sky was overcast, with dark clouds hinting at possible rain in the distance. Eager to make our 9:30 a.m. tour at J. Hunter Pearl Farm, we aimed to catch the earliest tender to the Copra Shed Marina, where we would meet our guide. Upon arrival, we were welcomed to Savusavu by a large sign. The marina itself was quite charming, featuring a restaurant, a bar, and various shops. With about half an hour to spare before our tour, we strolled along Savusavu's main street, passing by the bus station, a pharmacy, a car rental agency, and various local eateries. Closer to the marina, local vendors had set up stalls in anticipation of the cruise ship's arrival. This was the first island where we encountered numerous vendors selling pearls, and Karen couldn't resist picking up a few beautiful bracelets. We met our guide, who drove us in a pickup truck to the J. Hunter Pearl Farm, just a short distance from the marina. Upon arrival, Karen and I explored the stunning pearl jewelry in the showroom, while waiting for the tour to start. We viewed a brief yet informative PowerPoint presentation on pearl cultivation.
Good morning and welcome to J. Hunter Pearls. I am Faith, so I will be sharing with you a bit of agriculture pearls here at J. Hunter.
And then our guide Julia led us outside into the pearl shed, where we witnessed the implantation process performed by a Japanese technician named Machuda.
Hola.
Karen and I watched as Machuda carefully inserted a small organic bead from a Mississippi River mussel into the oyster, a step that triggers the secretion of nacre, leading to pearl formation.
How long does he train, the technician? How long is his training before he's able to do this?
They didn't go to any school or university to learn this work. Yeah? It was taught to them by their forefathers, so they don't like teaching other people.
Yes.
But you have to be very skilled, and he doesn't like noise when he's working. No, you have to be very skilled, very precise, in order to fit the bead inside that pocket. So in the day, depending on the amount of oysters they bring in, he'll clear all that. Okay? Sometimes 300.
This process also involves inserting a piece of tissue from the oyster, which influences the pearl's color. Unlike the black lip oysters found in other South Pacific regions, Fijian oysters are a subspecies that yield warm shades of champagne, gold, copper, taupe, and chocolate.
The color on the lip of the shell is the color of the pearl that a particular oyster will produce. So what he did is, he killed these oysters, he opened them up, he took the piece of meat from them, we call it the mantle tissue, right? So when he implants these oysters, he's putting a bit of that meat inside. That meat acts as the DNA in that oyster, telling it, you're not going to produce whatever pearl this colored pearl is supposed to make, you're going to produce it.
If the oyster is deemed capable of another cycle, the technician will reseed the oyster. Otherwise, it is rejected and used for meat. Machuda visits Savusavu 3 months a year to harvest pearls and implant oysters. In the same area, there is a hatchery dedicated to breeding oysters. It was fascinating to discover how oysters are selected from the ocean based on their color before spawning and fertilizing them.
For the best one, I mean the best colors like this year. Out of 2,000 cells, we bring in only about 30 or 40, the chosen, the good ones, selected ones. We bring them here, we condition them, we feed them with a lot of algae, make them really healthy, then we spawn them, make them release their eggs and the sperm. Then we fertilize them and keep them in these tanks here.
Unfortunately, the survival rate for baby oysters is extremely low, with only about 0.1% reaching maturity. There are numerous obstacles in getting these young oysters from the hatchery to the ocean. The hatchery closely monitors important factors like water temperature, acidity, and algae content to create the best environment for growth. They also feed the baby oysters a special mix of plankton while keeping the water clean and free from contaminants. This careful process takes around 6 months for the oysters to develop a hard shell, and it can take an additional 1.5 to 2 years for them to grow large enough for a nucleus to be implanted. To boost their growth, the baby oysters are moved to Savusavu Bay as soon as possible, where the natural surroundings help them develop much faster. Julia then took us to the marina area, where we boarded a boat to take us out to the J. Hunter Pearl Farms in Savusavu Bay. The rain started pouring down as we headed toward a small boat, where we would learn about farming, cleaning, and collecting oysters out in the bay. Even though we were given umbrellas, they didn't help much since the rain came at us from all sides while the boat raced across the bay. When we arrived at the vessel, the crew members showed us chaplets, oysters strung on a rope, which is a traditional way to grow pearls in Fiji and the Cook Islands. Our group had been excited to snorkel among the oysters, but the heavy rain made that impossible, and our tour was cut short. On a sunny day, the boat ride and snorkeling would have been the best part of the trip, but even with the bad weather, we still enjoyed the experience. Karen and I had asked our guide for directions to the Nakama Hot Springs at the beginning of the tour. When the tour ended, she graciously offered to take us there, since it was close to the Pearl Farm showroom. However, we opted to return to the copra shed to catch a tender back to the ship. The rain was pouring heavily, showing no signs of letting up, and we found ourselves trudging through ankle-deep water to reach the tender. Tonight in the main dining area, we began our meal with a delightful mixed salad featuring lettuce, bacon, and red-skinned potatoes. For her main dish, Karen opted for the chicken pot pie, while I chose the roasted rack of veal. We also shared the wild mushroom strudel, which was the featured port-to-plate selection for the evening. For dessert, Karen indulged in a carrot Swiss roll, and I savored the rhubarb crisp. After we finished our meal, Chef Kamal came by to check on us and our favorite dining companions, George and Doris. As we set sail from Savusavu, our last stop in Fiji, a rainbow appeared in the sky, almost as if it were bidding us farewell. See you next time in Nuku'alofa, Tonga. Cheers! Please be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to keep up with our latest episodes. In the upcoming episode, we'll be visiting Nuku'alofa in Tonga, where we'll take a ship's tour to see the Mapua Vaea blowholes, have lunch prepared in a Numu underground oven, and more.